Before we begin, I want you to keep one question in mind. Who, in this story, is the real villain? Is it the creator of the lie, or the one who met the lie with brutal violence? Let's dive in. The glow of the monitor was the only light in Leo's one-bedroom apartment, painting his face in a cold blue rectangle. The air smelled of stale pizza and loneliness. On the screen was Jax, a man who didn't exist. Jax had a jawline you could cut glass on and a torso sculpted from marble and ambition. His profile was a digital forgery, pictures stolen from fitness models and warped by FaceApp. Leo, the real person behind the keyboard, was 34. His jawline was soft, his body a testament to a diet heavy on carbohydrates and regret. He worked as a data entry clerk, a job so monotonous it felt like psychological torture. Jax was everything Leo wasn't: virile, dangerous, interesting. This was his secret vice. He'd log into the dating app, The Den, as himself and get nothing. As Jax, the world opened up. Notifications pinged like a slot machine paying out. It was a pathetic, hollow power trip, but it was his. He never intended to meet anyone. The fantasy was the point. Then he met Chloe. Her profile picture showed her laughing, a spray of freckles across her nose. Her bio was simple: bookworm trying to be less boring. Tell me a story. Jax sent a message. A story? I've got a few. Most involve bad decisions and good whiskey. She replied, bad decisions are the best kind, as long as you survive to tell the tale. The conversation flowed with an ease that startled Leo. They talked about books, their quiet disappointments. Through Jax, Leo expressed things he'd never dared voice. He was pouring his own soul into a fictional man, and Chloe was drinking it up. You're different, she messaged. You actually listen. Weeks turned into a month. The digital intimacy became an addiction. Then came the request. I'd really like to hear your voice. Panic lanced through Leo. Jax should have a deep baritone, not Leo's reedy tenor. Desperation led to a monstrous invention. He bought a voice modulator, spending hours creating a gravelly voice to match the chiseled face. The first time he called her, his hands were slick with sweat. Jax, her voice was soft. Hey. Hey, Chloe. The modulated voice boomed in his headphones. It's good to finally hear you. Her laugh was even better in real time. He was falling for her, and he was almost convinced she was falling for Jax. The fantasy became a precarious reality. She wanted to meet. Dinner? This Friday? The old Leo would have ghosted her. But he couldn't. The thought of cutting off the connection felt like a physical amputation. He agreed. The days were a blur of anxiety. He bought new clothes, went to the gym, a futile attempt to sculpt his soft body. The plan was simple and insane. Go to the restaurant, see her from a distance, and leave. A plan born of cowardice. Friday night. Leo peered through the restaurant window. She was more beautiful in person, wearing a simple blue dress, a book in her hand. Waiting for Jax. He turned to leave. A large hand clamped down on his shoulder. Going somewhere, pal? A tall, broad-shouldered man with a cold gaze stood there. My sister's been waiting. She's excited to meet you. Jax. Terror seized Leo. Chloe's brother. How? The man, Mark, steered him inside. Chloe looked up, her face shifting from confusion to horror as she saw Leo being propelled toward her. Mark, what are you doing? She whispered. Making sure your date is on the level. Mark shoved Leo against the table. So, you're Jax. Chloe's eyes scanned Leo, comparing him to the photos. She saw a soft, pale, terrified man. Who are you? She asked, her voice trembling. Leo was silent. The lie evaporated. Mark snatched Leo's phone, forced his thumb to unlock it. The evidence was all there. Oh my God, Chloe breathed. All those conversations, it was all you? This nobody. The word nobody hit Leo harder than any blow. You pathetic worm, Mark snarled. You think you can play with people's lives? I'm sorry, Leo whispered. Go wait in the car, Chloe, Mark said, his eyes locked on Leo. After she left, Mark's voice dropped to a menacing whisper. This isn't over. We're going for a ride. He marched Leo out to a foul-smelling alley. You like to pretend you're a tough guy online? Let's see how tough you are now. The violence was methodical and brutal. A slam into the brick wall. A fist to the kidney. Kicks to his ribs. Leo crumpled, the world narrowing to pain. Mark finished by grabbing his hair and yanking his head back. If you ever come near my sister again, I will find you. And next time, I won't stop with a beating. Understand? Yes. Leo screamed. Mark left him broken in the alley. The shame was worse than the pain. He was just a fragile body that could be broken. Back in his apartment, Leo looked in the mirror. A stranger stared back, swollen eye, busted lip, crooked nose. He stood naked under the harsh light, his body a canvas of rage. The nudity was exposing. This was the real him, stripped of all pretense. He called in sick, surviving on delivery food. He deleted the Jack's profile, but couldn't scrub the memory. Drinking cheap whiskey to numb the pain, a new, dark obsession took root. He found Mark's address online. He began to watch the townhouse. He saw Mark and Chloe living their normal lives while his was in ruins. Anger festered. He printed photos, pinned them to a corkboard, studied routines. He bought a knife. It made him feel less powerless. One night, he saw Chloe arrive alone. Impulse overpowered fear. He walked toward the house, the knife heavy in his pocket. The door opened. It was Mark, taking out the trash. Shock turned to pure rage. I warned you. I need to talk to Chloe, Leo stammered. You're stalking my house? You're dead. Mark lunged. Leo pulled the knife. Mark stopped, amused. The little mouse has teeth. You don't have the guts. You're a liar and a coward. That's all you'll ever be. Those words were the final trigger. Leo rushed forward, slashing wildly. Mark was faster. He sidestepped, twisted Leo's wrist until something popped. The knife clattered down. The restraint from the alley was gone. Mark beat him with feral fury. Leo tasted blood, his vision tunneling. He heard Chloe screaming from the doorway. I called the police, she cried. Sirens wailed. Mark got off him, breathing ragged. It's over. The police saw a clear picture. A troublemaker standing over a brutally beaten man, a knife on the ground. They cuffed Mark. Leo, loaded into an ambulance, caught a final glimpse of Mark being pushed into a squad car. There was no victory in his gaze, only hollow emptiness. Leo stuck to his story. He was there to apologize, was attacked, and pulled the knife in self-defense. Mark was charged. Leo was released from the hospital, a victim on paper. But back in his silent apartment, surrounded by the evidence of his obsession, he felt no justice. He had destroyed the man who destroyed him, but he was still Leo, still a nobody. The violence had only hollowed him out. He stood before the mirror weeks later, the bruises faded to a sickly green, permanent scars remaining. He looked at his reflection and felt nothing but a vast, consuming numbness. He had started with a fake profile, a digital phantom. He had ended up a real-life ghost. The screen was dark. The fantasy was dead, and the man who created it was dead, too. All that was left was the shell, waiting for a feeling that never came. The story had no hero, no villain, only casualties. The story ends with Leo hollow and broken. What do you think happens to him next? Does he get help, or does he spiral further? What about Chloe and Mark's relationship after the arrest? Based on what you've read, who do you hold most responsible for the tragic outcome? Leo, for creating the deception and then stalking. Mark, for responding with excessive, brutal violence. Both, they are equally culpable. Neither, they are both products of a toxic environment. This story is designed to make you think. I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Head to the comments and let me know your thoughts. This topic gets better the more voices we have. If stories exploring the dark, gray areas of human psychology fascinate you, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thank you for joining me for this dark journey. Until next time, stay safe and think critically. If you or someone you know is struggling with issues related to loneliness, obsession, or self-harm, please know you are not alone. Reach out for help. Resources like the Crisis Text Line, text HOME to 741741, or the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 988, offer free, confidential support 24/7.